Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of Torment, Tides of Numenera. This is Colonel RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that you chose to join me today here in Yoku's house. It's not really a house, it's more of a festering wound, apparently. I said it's inflamed wound. I'm not sure if it's festering yet, but it does have nasty stuff around. And a patch.
I should really get moving before someone tries to kill me.
Indeed. A patch just landed right before I started recording this. I'm recording this on Tuesday, so yeah, this video goes up on Sunday, so it's like almost a week of pre-recording. But yeah, a patch just landed, and a couple of things caught my eye. I looked briefly over the patch notes. There's the new companion that we're not going to be able to get because he's back in Saga Split. It's called or I don't really know how to pronounce that, or Om. I have no idea. It's O-M. That's his name. Capitalized first O. But there are a couple of things that caught my eye, and you might be seeing it already. It's that thing over there. Yeah, we're going to see that in a little bit. Also, another thing over here is that we can see the disposition of each companion towards us, which is decent, fine, I suppose. It's, I never doubted that these guys all love me. It's all fine, but there we go. That's that. They also fixed a few bugs, a few patches. A few crashes, I should say, and also some quests and all that sort of stuff. Not that we have had, well, I didn't really particularly have any big trouble with quests and all that. I do hope that we're going to be able to fix Arities still, but that one, I don't really know. I mean, we can't go back to Saga Cliffs. I looked it up and tried to figure it out, and without getting any spoilers for myself, I don't think we're going back. This is the last half of the game, the Bloom, so we're probably in for another 50 episodes or so. I'm just conjecturing at this point, but there's a lot of stuff to do, and we are indeed doing stuff over here. But before we continue with our adventure, let me just show you something that I kind of missed from the beginning, and I really, really love this. This is really good because, I mean, playing on camera, it's different. The games like Pillars of Eternity have this, the codex, basically. Games like The Witcher have them. The Witcher 3 and 2, I think, have them as well. Well, The Witcher 3 does, but Witcher 2, I don't remember. But basically where we can get all of the nice information that we are not really given immediately by the game. So, for example, the Variellen, we can learn a little bit about them. This guy is a Variellen, so that's good. Let's learn about Variellen. Actually, I might learn about him himself. He might be here. No, he's not. Okay. I got hiccups, by the way. That's why I'm kind of pausing a little bit. These humanoid creatures are tall and gaunt, with a violet-red tint to their flesh. Their eyes are contralateral and bulging, and a tall crest surmounts their head. They are often described by humans as cold and unemotional, and I think they do have a sort of a flat tone of voice, so that might be the reason why they're described as cold and unemotional. But then again, so are people from other countries, right? Right? I mean, unless you were one of the people that comes from, unless you come from a country that is often described as cold and unemotional, I guess. I'm not naming names. I know that it's a generalization, but let's see. Yeah, we have the Order of Truth over here. I've been reading about this stuff. I was talking about them last episode, and yeah, basically they just want to better the life of people, but through what means and all that. We got the Sorrow over here. Yeah, that looks like the thing we fought in Mil Avest. Speaking of which, I should have places? Yeah, locations. Mil Avest, right there. Mil Avest is a refuge from the Sorrow. Well, was a refuge from the Sorrow until I freaked it up, basically. Sir Arthur, look at him. Yeah, this guy helped us. Helped us with a guy called, what was his name? Inefir. Inefir, that's the one. Inefir is one of your cast-off siblings born in a dimension of horror. Was he actually born there? He is almost skeletal in appearance and utterly mad. He would be harmless if it were not for the cultists who venerate him as the living portal of the Endless Gate. The living portal? That's okay. I would say the living key, maybe, but there we go. Berikhalid Bruna. I don't remember this guy. A warrior of Iron Will. Anyway, we could. This is the thing. This is the thing about the codex. It's just it's meant for you to spend a lot of time reading it, and this one seems relatively small so far. I really enjoyed learning about the world of Pillars of Eternity by reading the. They call it a name. They don't call it a codex. They call it something in game. But there's a lot of stuff. There's in Pillars of Eternity. There's a lot of stuff about gods right at the start of the game as well. So it's just it's a lot of stuff for you to spend hours reading through, and races and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, Yoku. Let's continue talking to him. Oh, I got clipping. Oh, Rin, get out of there, Rin. Ah. You disturb me again. What great matter calls for your interruption? I like how he puts it. I like that. What great matter? I like it. I like it. So, what is that device in the middle of the room? The bloom detests those who seek to understand it on a rational level. Yeah, that's right. He's looking into the bloom, and the bloom apparently doesn't like that. Which is what I said last episode. For some time now, it has sought my destruction, he says, to erase all accomplished here. The device generates a multi-spectrum field that repels the bloom's advances. Yoku's lip curls. But this means only that it waits for me without. Had other devices not been available to create food and drink, I should have perished here. Okay, so the bloom wants to kill you if you go outside? Is that how he goes? Okay. Tell me about that construct over there in the corner. Many years ago, says Yoku, it came to my door. It vowed service to me if its memories and personality could be erased. I did not ask why, just as I would hope to have my own reasons respected. He rubs his eyes. It now serves to protect me against those who would do me harm. Most specifically, the Murdens and the cultists. Oh, okay, so could you please erase the memory of another one? Yeah? Or maybe not. The automaton in the corner, is there an easy way to deactivate it or something like it? He regards you flatly with both eyes, turning his head this way and that. At last he speaks. With the Bloom's followers outside my door, the risk of transmission of this information to potentially dangerous parties is unacceptable. You will not have the answer. Okay, actually I think that question is more in regards to just trying to kill the other automaton, or at least disable it or something. Well, the other automaton that looks like that one that we just saw over there, he actually wants to be eaten by the bloom. So, the reason must be the same thing. They want to lose their memories because they hate all the details and apparently all those things. Because those things last forever. So, not forever, but for a long time. So, what do you think would make the bloom cultists leave you alone? Defeating them with reasoned arguments would be difficult. The Varielan appears to consider. I present no danger to them, not like you. A threat of force might persuade them, but I believe they tell the truth about enjoying the bloom's favor. To oppose them is to draw its ire. Yeah, as I said last episode, I think I have a leg in with the bloom, if that is the correct expression. Basically, I think the bloom likes me, so he or she might. Well, we've heard the bloom being called a she, but whatever. It probably is or they might be the correct way of referring to it or them. But basically, the bloom, I think, might be willing to, ignore a little act of, just trying to, I'm just trying to do things to help people. So, because, those guys really, I'm helping this guy right now, because that's the only helping that can go around here. So, do you have anything you'd be willing to sell me? He looks around at his cluttered desk. I do not anticipate a need for these devices any longer. Perhaps they can serve you? Perhaps they can. I can sell you this Scriptures of the Great Devourer if you want to, but I don't think he does. What is that? Entropic Engine? It's just, damn it, what is it? It's an artifact. Okay, so it's, the projectile fired, it's a, what? It's a, on critical hits, wait a minute. Oh, it's a weapon. It's a ranged weapon. Okay. Heavy ranged weapon as well. Okay, what about this thing? Oh, is it better? Cloak of Faces. Oh, it's a cloak. Is it a cloak? Yeah, yeah, it is. It just gains, you gain willpower. Not as good as mine, clearly. What about this thing? Embrace the All. A permanent cipher. Or, it's a cipher. +1 training level in concentration. Do I need that? Actually, this thing can be given to anybody, so I think I might want to go for that. What is that? A bonded artifact plus resistance? Oh, yeah. I want that. I kind of want that. So let's see. We got one artifact over here that's going to give us +4 armor and +4 resistance, I think. So that's pretty good right there. This is a cipher. All in the immediate area take 20 mental damage and dazes everybody. So that's interesting. We got a sting charge over here that I'm not going to use because I cast spells and all that sort of stuff. We got a bonded artifact that increases, excuse me, your intellect pool and also damage. Oh. Wait a minute. Why? Yeah. So, this one gives you +1 damage per effort applied, and a maximum of 6 on esoteric attacks. I think that +1 damage per effort applied is just on esoteric attacks. That's what it means. +1 damage per effort applied, maximum 6 on esoteric attacks. So, excuse me. So, my current psychic focus is way better. No, wait a minute. This is the... I always see it the other way around. I'm looking at the Pellucid Wrap. The Pellucid Wrap is, yeah. So I think this one is much better. It gives you plus 15 on lore mystical tasks and much more damage. So I'm gonna go with those two right there. I don't really have too much money though. Let me look at my money over here. Not my money, at my items. So that's for might pool right there. Okay, so let's see if I can sell some of these things. We got the blood globe. That's gonna... You know what? I can do without this one. I think... Oh, can I? I must be able to... What? How can I... What is going on there? Does it always... Oh, because... Oh, that's right. So this is an inventory. Oh, where did he go? Over there. That's an inventory because you can't actually carry them in your inventory. You need to be to have them, you know, connected to you. That's the thing with the ciphers. They just being around you. That screws you up right there. Okay. So the blood globe, as good as it is, I'm gonna sell it because I need the money. Over here, the hypercoolant spray. That's actually pretty expensive, or pretty good and cheap. This is a cipher. It grants you. It grants you armor for you, I suppose? Yeah, I think so. Excuse me. It's pretty cheap, so I'm not gonna sell it. This sunspot icon, not gonna sell, not gonna sell that. Okay, so we could sell, what else? You got the mirror casters that I kinda don't wanna, I don't think I should sell the mirror casters. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna buy this thing, because it does a lot of damage. It is really good. It is really good. And I think I am gonna be fine with that. Okay, let's first look at that. So, have these two. And I don't think I need the concentration thingy. But let me look at my character sheet right there. My concentration is already pretty good. That's so concentration is for cipher, is for bonded items. Okay, so it could be your concentration is pretty good as well. You don't have concentration, so your bonded items are gonna be screwy. Getting one for him. Oh, already. Oh, it's got minus might pool. That's not an issue. Excuse me. But getting one right there is a good idea, I think. Hey, Alligator. How's it going, man? Yeah, let's continue. Let me have a chat here with Yoku again. And I think we're just gonna need to go outside and talk to those guys. So my idea here is to either get this thing over here that grants you armor, which is pretty decent. It's relatively cheap as well. This one also... It's pretty good. It's pretty cheap as well, so I'm gonna buy that. I can't afford it? Really? Okay. How about I sell this crappiness? Yeah, sell. Can't afford it either. Well, I should. Right? Oh, 684. Ah! No! No! I don't have the money! Oh, this is pretty cheap. That's good. Okay, just buy. How much did I lose right there? I lost 5. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I was looking at the other way. So this one is not good, actually. Okay, so that's fine with me. And this fluid armature is the bonded artifact that indeed does grant you armor. So that's pretty decent, and I might go with that. Impossible blade over here. I'm never gonna use this thing, so I'm just gonna sell that, and I'm gonna... So what's that one? Minus evasion, minus willpower, minus an 8 initiative. Oh my god, that's bad. That is bad. Okay, so I needed that, but I also needed the thing that grants you permanent... Wherever it is. It's that one. I got 618. How can I not... I almost can afford that. Okay, I'm gonna get this thing... so I can give that to Eritis. And that's that. I'm gonna take care of that. And the other thing is I really want this, but I don't have the money for that. But at least Eritis doesn't have the might pool or anymore. And once I have money, I can come back. And that's that. So Eritis, let me make sure. Okay, he can handle that. That one right there. So he uses that. Okay, that works. You saw him do that. Okay, pretty good. And that means that he now... Oh. What? What?
Is there more danger? So be it.
Did I misread that or something? I think I misread that.
Well met yourself.
Well met to you as well. I think maybe I need to... Let's go outside. Just very quickly. I think maybe, I don't know, maybe I need to reload the items. It might be because of the latest patch. They did something to the cipher thing, or something. Okay, let me try that. Okay, still has that, so I can enable. Oh, come on! You should have the concentration. Was he in a what? Can he not have concentration? Is that a? Ah, okay. Let me handle this. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back to having the money, and everything is good. I really want that. I really want that. The minus evasion is pretty nasty. I could buy. The thing is, I could buy it, and I should. But let me see. Why is this? Why does it not use? So +1 training level and concentration. Maybe Eritis doesn't have that skill and cannot have that skill. I'm not really sure how that goes, because on our level ups we don't actually get all the skills that exist in the game. I think we need. Oh, it is because he's not a nano. That's right. That's right. That's the reason. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, so that means that I could have that if I wanted to. But you could have that. What is that? Plus damage, plus that's damage per effort, movement speed, +2 movement speed, and minus might pool. He can actually handle that for Eritis. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, so you're gonna give this one to him, because he can get that, so he gets the extra damage, or the extra armor, which is always fine. His armor is already pretty good. Oh, wait. Oh. Oh, I see. I see. Okay, so he's got 1 might edge, yeah. He can't have that, because he doesn't have the concentration. But that's because he's actually... inability. That's right. That's right. So he actually that is gonna be helpful. If I can get that, I'm gonna get that. But for right now, let's continue looking around. I want to mess with things, so let's try this device and see what it is. Another device sits in the middle of the room. It almost looks like a capsule. Yeah, it reminded me of the capsule from Dragon Ball or something. Like a capsule of some sort. But it is covered with ducts and ports and vents, and a strange blue light emanates from it. Cables run from its base throughout the room, attached to various devices. It vibrates with a mild, occasional stuttering pulse, and when it falters, the field that protects the interior of the shanty briefly fades. I can examine it. I'm not going to destroy or shut it down. Let's just examine the device. Very easy. Let's go with that. Come on. I need to press continue. Yeah. The machine encapsulates a piece of bloom flesh which is wired with various leads. It appears the core is a counter-stimulus device to drive the bloom back. Resonances and frequencies use the flesh of the great predator against itself, creating a kind of energy field that repels the bloom and keeps it from entering this chamber. But the constant pressure from the bloom's hunger is driving the machine towards irreversible breakdown. You do not think you can repair it. I'm pretty sure I can't. I mean, because I'm pretty awesome at this. I mean, look at my lore. Look at my lore. Only lore natural would kind of help me there. I wonder if that actually changes something, because, you know, the bloom is a living thing, so let's have a check at the construct here. Barbs and blades cover the surface of this hulking metal construct. Its scalloped skin looks like a suit of intricate armor, the joints able to bend in directions impossible for a human. Though the construct is immobile, something in its design sparks a frisson, yeah, of involuntary dread within you, as if it were a predator regarding you. The design of this construct is remarkably reminiscent to that of Waits for Prey, the construct you saw in the Memovir's courtyard. Although it looks similar to to Waits for Prey, you can hear nothing of its thoughts, as though it were an empty shell. Let's examine the construct first. I'm gonna go for the 100% right there. The construct doesn't seem to mind you prodding and poking. Indeed, it doesn't react at all. But by the time you're finished, you are reasonably certain that while it maintains basic locomotive and processing functions, its mind has been utterly erased. It truly is an automaton now, lacking any sort of free will. Some of its weapon systems have also been deactivated, though its killing blades are as deadly as ever. Who are you? I'm gonna ask. It continues to stare impassively ahead, ignoring your attempts to converse. If it weren't for the faint hum from within its chest, you would question whether it is even functioning. Why don't you speak to me? The construct remains utterly silent. It doesn't acknowledge you at all. Hello? Tell me about yourself. The construct remains utterly silent. Well, since I can't tell him... I wish there was a joke line. This game doesn't have any jokes, and that's fine. There's a few laughs, but it's a very serious game, and I like that. But, Sometimes. It's just me, though. Yeah, like a line, just like your mama's ugly or something stupid like that. But yeah, it's good that it doesn't have any jokes. Because it stays consistent. That's important. It's very important. Because if you want to put jokes in your game, you're gonna need... It's really difficult to communicate sometimes that it is actually a joke. And especially because you need to consider that a lot of the people that are gonna play this game are not native speakers. Maybe not the vast majority, but, you know... That's another issue to consider, is that sometimes something that is meant to be a joke sometimes is construed as not being. So let's see what we have over here. Papers lie scattered haphazardly across this desk. Small knowledge cubes gleam. Finger-sized implements cast processions of glowing glyphs, and other media lie scattered throughout the mess. Let's examine the notes. As you reach out to examine the objects on the desk, the Varialan barks. Careful! Much time has been invested in this work, and I recall where I placed each bit of data. Replace where you found each time. Okay, let's continue examining the contents of the desk. As you shuffle through the Varialan's notes on paper, scribbled on dried bloom flesh, dictated into talking data cubes and recorded into more exotic storage devices, you realize the sheer volume of information he has collected. It is a trove of arcane and technical observations of the bloom, loosely organized into a number of categories. Behavior, self and others, so it's got subcategories as well. Man, this guy. Communication, self and others, so it's basically all... No, it's not all self and others. So we got behavior for self and behavior for others. Oh no, behavior for him and for others. Communication as well. Influences. Influenced by Moz, how to open, how to close, and how to divert. You can divert Moz? History, unrecorded and recorded. Well, unrecorded history is proto-history. Or prehistory, depending if... it's not... Anyway. Doesn't matter. It's just that there's a common misconception about what history actually is. History is just recorded stuff. It's what it is. If you don't record it, if there's nothing written about it, it's not history. It's prehistory or proto-history. Or, you know, like... Oh, it goes as, you know, our records... No, our historical records, for example. That's kind of a oxymoron. No, actually, the oxymoron is the opposite of what it is. It's kind of a redundancy. That's what I mean. Like, recorded history is history. There's no such thing as unrecorded history. That's the thing. Observation, that's what it means. That's what I mean. Anyway, observations and conclusions. Every data point leads to a reference in another document. Some of those links are simply notes guessing where the data is located. Based on the Varialan's recollection, or, you know, the notes are based on his recollection. If you knew where to start analyzing his enormous collection of knowledge, you might be able to get somewhere, but the volume of information is simply staggering. A team of Aeon priests couldn't process this much data in a year. For a lone scholar, it will likely take 10 years or more. Well, it depends on the method you use, really. Because, you know, it's very important. Analyzing data is very, very dependent on the method you're using. The Varialan has stopped glancing over as you shuffle through his notes. Instead, he is staring at you, waiting and watching. It becomes difficult to concentrate under the steady gaze. That steady gaze. So you put the notes down, step away, and from the table. Okay. He doesn't like me messing with these things. That's okay, that's okay. Although if he really wants his stuff to endure, he's gonna need to take on an apprentice and teach him a method of understanding his notes. Teach him make up a way for him to understand his notes, because otherwise it's gonna be a mess. Nobody's gonna ever remember what he said and what he wrote. But let's have a chat here with the Inkpot and see if I can get these guys away from here. Inkpot looks up from his scribbling, his crooked mouth shaping itself into the mockery of a smile. We await your intercession with Yoku, but our god is in pain, so we will not wait forever. If the bloom is really a god, why does it need human help at all? Now, I'm gonna ask this because I really don't want to be too confrontational with these guys, not right away anyway, but also because before he said something like must not doubt, because he's very devoted to the truth, to the dogma that he sees as that he sees the bloom as. So I think I'm just gonna plant doubt in his head and let's see how that goes. He frowns confused. The need is plain, he says. Can you look upon the swollen flesh of that house and tell me that a poison doesn't fester inside? He dares? He asks. No, he simply does not understand. Did the bloom ask for your help? I'm gonna ask. His mouth quivers. It spoke to me of its need. I heard its voice in my mind. It does not need to speak for the faithful to see, he thinks, but this one needs stronger faith. So your god is too weak and impotent to deal with Yoku itself? Is that what you're saying? Oh, I'm gonna need to pass a check. Oh, by all means, go right ahead. That's a powerful check right there. And I think I'm good at that, but that's a really tough check. No, I would never. The Devourer will surely break through his defenses on its own. He licks his lips, glancing at his followers out of the corner of his eyes. Perhaps you're right. Give it time, sweet time, for Yoxo's defenses to crumble. Then the bloom will dissolve him bit by bit. A more satisfying end than brute violence, yes. He nods, his decision made. We will watch and wait, and I shall record his end in scripture when it comes. And then you're gonna throw it over there? Yeah, sure. So, yeah, I guess that's that. So now we can go back inside, tell him about the good things. Oh, by the way, these things are glued in with spit. That's what they're yellow spit. So, yeah. We're gonna tell him the good news, and now, hopefully, he's gonna tell me about the construct and how to deactivate it. Because, I think that's kind of dangerous to have around. Although, for him, I'm not really sure, but he's just standing there. I'm not sure if he's guarding him or anything, but let's see what he says. That's again and again and again. Yeah, the Bloom cultists have agreed to leave you alone.
A note.
Oh, doubts rise within, he says. His left eye goggles at you momentarily. Extraordinary claims demand proof. He steps to the door and peers outside. He waits for a moment, closes the door, and turns back to you. They had regarded this home and Yogzu, but their clamor ended. Tight smiles color their faces, but no longer do they hurl imprecations. My gratitude, I believe, is in order. I think this was written by somebody different from whoever wrote it before. That's a very different tone. Accept this, he says. Let no debts stand. And he presses something small into your hands. It is a cipher. That nanospirits reanimate the muscles of a humanoid corpse. Oh. A farmer once discovered a host of similar objects, prying them from the fossilized carapaces of beings from antiquity. Supposing them to be seeds, he planted them near the family's burial plots. After recovering from the shock of seeing his ancestors rise from their graves, he made the best of his situation and put them to work tending the fields. The farmer took ill and ultimately passed away. His family, it is said, can still be seen ceaselessly toiling to harvest his long, barren lands to this day. What an idiot. Well, it's just machines, I guess. But that's a powerful thing right there. I can reanimate anybody. Yep. So, tell me again how to deactivate the automatons. Your service in protection against the Bloom's worshippers calls for an exchange of knowledge. Better still, bide. He steps over to his workbench and his hands disappear in a blur of movement. Take this. He presses a long, thin strip of metal into your hand, inlaid with tiny circuits and emitting a light that makes your eyes hurt. Yeah, I hate those LEDs. It's just terrible. I hate the LEDs that hurt your eyes. You know, stuff that you have on machines and stuff. As it sits on your palm, the inks burn into your skin, and the metal dissolves. Worry not, he says. A function of the device. Slide your hand, into any exposed joint. Let yourself be impaled within. The ink will call these words to mind. He growls strange syllables. Your blood carries the overload mechanism now. It transfers energy via the Torva's mechanism. Well, thank you very much. Farewell. Indeed. Well, let's try and use it on this guy, but let's try and do that on the next episode. For now, I'm Kettle RPG, and this has been Torment, Tides of Numenera. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a comment, like the video, but above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye.